Hey you guys, so my dog is in the hospital, and I'm gonna try to do this very quickly because I just finished doing a very detailed video of what's going on with Max, but it upset me because I have to upload the video it's on my laptop, but I have to upload it to my Google Drive, and the thing is about 50, how many gigs? Like 40 gigs. So I have to now condense it on my cell phone, and also I'm going to show you some photographs that I wanted to share with you guys of my dog and I, where we've been. But what happened yesterday with my dog, he's been struggling a lot because he's 12 years old, and he was doing fine day before yesterday, and I do know that he's been very sluggish, okay, and of course because he's getting older. And man, I hope this video comes out right, because I did a really good video on the other one. I talk a lot about health and things that happened to me, thinking about his death, if he's dying, what it made me see, and so forth. So, god damn it, now I have to condense it. So anyways, he was doing really well, and then all of a sudden I gave him, well, but before that, I had already sent him to the vet about a month maybe, and they gave him, they told me he had these little tiny, like, stones in his body, and they said that that I caught it on time for them to be dissolved before they turn into big stones, and then he has to have surgery. So they gave me all this medication, antibiotics, and medicinal food, blah, blah, blah. So at first he was struggling a lot to eat, and then he finally came through and he was doing really well. So the day before yesterday, he ate a bowl of his medicinal food. It was a lot. I said, oh, wow. I said, great. And so then later in the evening, I wasn't going to feed him yet, but I gave him a treat. And it was a sweet potato wrapped with chicken jerky. And I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to start giving him some really good treats now. But for the meantime, I found these cheapy ones. So I had given to him a couple of times, and he was fine with them. But for some reason, this time, he didn't do too good. He threw it up. So what happened is that I think I either fell asleep, I don't remember. But when I woke up, he had been laying on the floor here. Now, I had bought all these sectionals of carpet, and they're very thick rubber. So in case because he was urinating, he wasn't holding his urine before when I took him to the hospital, to the vet before, and the medicinal thing helped. So I said, if he does anything, then all I gotta do is scoop one of these sectionals and go rinse it off and clean it off, right? And so when I woke up, he was right here. And I said, that's weird. What's he doing there when he's got his humongous pillow over there in the front seat? I said, wow. I said, maybe he's out of water, because he's been drinking an enormous amount of water. And I mean a lot of water. So I said, okay, well, you know what? Maybe I need to get up and let him go to the bathroom. So as I was getting up, I step on the section right there, and it was wet. I said, oh man. And I grabbed it, smelled it. Sure enough, it was urine. I said, okay, it's no problem. I picked up the piece and I replaced it with another one. And then I washed it off. I said, fine. Okay. So then I said, now I got to fill his bowl, which is over there in the front. And as I'm walking over there, I see his bed covered with vomit. And I looked at the vomit, and it was the exact treat that I gave him. I said, oh, shit. So I wasn't mad at him, none of that. And so then I let him out, and he was struggling a lot to walk, and I mean a lot to walk. And many times I had to pick him up because he didn't even want to move. I said, wow, man, that's weird. So, and he kept vomiting a couple of times. So anyways, I kept observing him throughout the day. And finally he had me so stressed out because I took him. I said, you know what? I said, let's go. I've been in the van, by the way, sleeping in the van for a while now. And then all of a sudden I said, why don't I just take him to the park and find a place where there's nobody around, and so he can sit on the grass, and I can sit on the grass too, and just have a relaxing, calm day. I said, maybe he'll get better, because he gets stressed when he hears certain frequencies because he's deaf. So everything was going fine at the park. He was relaxed, but he was definitely drinking a lot of water. I tried to feed him. He would not eat it. I said, okay, well, maybe he's just not hungry. Okay, so then he started to vomit again, like 3 times. But the concerning part is that he was drinking a lot of water, and when he was drinking the water, he would walk away, and then he would throw up the water. Well, I know it can't be the water, because the water is very good reversed osmosis water. I said, okay, well, it's got to be something else. So anyway, so he was stressing me out. I wasn't getting stressed. I was being concerned. And I hesitate to go to Mexico because many times you don't know what the hell is going to happen when you walk back into the United States. Because sometimes you could catch the pedestrian, because I walk across. Sometimes there's nobody there. And there are times when you might not get so lucky, and you'll be there for hours in the pedestrian. Yeah. The good thing is that they have bathrooms that you can go to. And I said, and that's why I don't go often, because of that freaking line. So anyway, so I said, you know what? I said, go. So I took him to the vet, and they told me that when he was being examined, the dog vomited like 3 times, and 1 time in the lobby. But when he was on top of the table with the doctor looked at his vomit color, and he said, that's not a good sign, that color. So he said something about his acids in his stomach is the reason that it's, I don't remember, he was hard to understand because he didn't speak up like loud and firm, you know. But he said it wasn't a good color, it wasn't a good sign. And he suggested that I either leave him. No, I could either take him home, and he would give me medications, I think like 2 or 3 different kinds of antibiotics, and an injection shot to help him with the vomiting. So I had a bit of a hard time deciding what to do, because the doctor said, I can give you the medication, you can give it to him, but I don't guarantee you that he'll take the medication, because what if he vomits again? He'll just throw it right up, and then there goes the medication. I said, yeah, that's true, huh? But he did say that. So anyway, so I said, okay, well, I'll take the medication. And he gave him an injection shot for the vomit. But then I remember him explaining for the first part. He told me if I left him, what he suggested, what the original first suggestion was that for me to leave him there and they would do like a whole blood analysis and a whole bunch of other testings, and they would give him, well, this is what made me change my mind to leave him, is when he said, when I told him I would take the chance and take him with me, and if I see him get bad, then I'll bring him back and leave him here, hospitalized. He said, okay, no problem. So all of a sudden he goes, oh, he also needs fluids, IV fluids. Oh shit, man. Or he's going to need IV fluids. And that's what made me think twice. Because I remember I was also being told by my doctors when they were checking when I went to see the doctor, and they were telling me that this was dry, my lips were dry, and my signs of blinking too much was signs of dry, dehydration stuff. And I remembered that. So I said, put yourself in the position of your dog, I said to myself. The dog hasn't eaten all day. Well, he doesn't want to eat. He's been throwing up. He's been pissing a lot. Why is he drinking a lot of water, I said. He can barely walk. He doesn't want to walk sometimes. I said, put yourself in that position, I said. So that's when I changed my mind, and I said, you know what, doctor, I'm sorry. I think I'm going to leave him, but can you explain to me again what is it that you guys going to do? No problem. He was very kind, very understanding, and he explained everything, that they were going to do blood draws, they're going to be observing him, and do a whole blood analysis, and I forget what else. And then they were going to be able to tell me what is going on with him, and if there's other issues going on that we don't know about. I said, okay, fine. So he gave me the price, and it wasn't, this is Tijuana, okay? You will never get a price like that here in the United States. Never. The blood draw alone was going to be what they charged me. So he told me it was going to be $244. I said, okay. I said, I might have enough to leave him a second night if he really, really needs it. Because I did pay off my credit card and I got $500 available credit. I said, okay. So then I paid it, and I came back, and it was just so strange to come back home alone. I mean, really, really strange. And made me think about a lot of things about my dog, where he's been with me, the things he's helped me overcome, my mental health, all these wonderful things that he's been to me. And I mean, it was just mind-blowing, thinking about all of that stuff, all of those life events. And I started thinking, have I been good to my dog? Have I treated him well? Has he suffered with me? I started thinking about all those things. I said, have I done the best? Have I done the best to him? Have I been good to him? So all that stuff I was thinking about. And I went online and I said, how old is 12 years? Is he really that old, 12 years old? How much life does he have left? And so forth. And I found some comforting things, because it said, if you have a dog that's a small dog under 20 pounds, their normal lifespan is between 10 and 15 years. And it said, so if your dog is 12 years old right now, and he's under 20 pounds, he's had a good life, it said. I said, oh, thank you, Lord. I said, thank you, Lord. So I just started to pray, asking God to not take him home yet. Don't take him home yet. Don't take him from me yet. And that's my prayer to you guys. That's my prayer request to you guys, is to ask God to not take Max away from me yet. And that he comes back to me one more time. And whatever happens after that, I accept it, because he is an old dog. And I must do the best I can now from now on. Because he's never given me any medical problems. Never. I mean, I clean his teeth, and I know he needs it now. But I said, maybe this is the sign that he is coming to an end. So I said, God, please don't take him away yet. Not yet, I said. He's been a wonderful dog to me. And let him come home to me one more time. Let me love him again one more time, God. And yes, I will accept his death if it comes to that. Yes. So that's where it's at right now. And the vet called me when I was doing that other video. I'll upload it later when I have access to internet somewhere better besides the phone. Now I'm doing it on the phone. Probably when I get back to the apartment. I don't know. I think it's going to be tomorrow, because I have a concert to go on Saturday. So it'll probably be Friday or Saturday that I got to go back to the apartment. And I'll upload it then. But I wanted to get this video out now because I want you to reach out, those of you who have faith in God, is to ask God to let him come home to me one more time. And that the doctors will do a great job in treating him. But mostly that he comes home to me anyhow, I know I'm rushing the video, and I didn't want to do this rushed. I did not. But hopefully you understand my circumstances. I'm living in a van. I'm already going to be out of there by the end of the month. I don't even want to go back there to sleep. Last night, I could have gone there, but I said, what the hell for? You know, just to get bothered again by the idiots upstairs? Are they going to be quiet? I don't know. I said, I don't have time right now to be fucking around with drug addicts and that kind of tolerance. I said, I don't. So I slept in the van again last night. And anyways, I wanted to show you these pictures that I took. Oh God, I hope these come out right. These are pictures from Max that I found. Let me see if the camera, I don't know how close I gotta get. Okay, I'll leave it right there, and I'm just gonna flip through a bunch of pictures. Okay, I'm gonna try to leave the camera right there. Through a bunch of pictures. This was taken recently. And this was, I think, 2 years ago. Oh, my Max. This is 2023. That's where it says, hi, Mr. Wow. Hello, Max. Hello, Papacitos. Hello, Max. Hi, Mr. Wow. Good morning. I would always bug him in the morning. I would always pick him up and say, good morning, Max. Good morning, Papacito. Hello, Max. And he would start, like, grinding on the blanket. I don't know, just grinding. It'd be so funny. And he'd be wagging his tail. And I don't know where this one was taken. I think it was Colorado, maybe. I'm not sure. I think it was Colorado. This one, I think this might have been at a hotel. No, this is in San Diego. Yeah, this is in San Diego. and 20 something, I think. Yeah, it was a recliner because I remember the brown part here. Hello. Hello, Mr. Wow. Hello. This was in Colorado. He was experiencing the snow. Yeah, I had to pick him up because his feet were getting too wet from the snow. I think this was 2014 or 15, I think. Yes, that's me. Was me. This is also 2000, probably 14, 15, maybe 16, I don't remember. And that's me. Yes, that's me. I've been debating whether to grow my hair. Every month I go through the same thing. But, I mean, I've aged a lot because of stress, problems, mental health issues. And of course I was slimmer, younger. This was in Colorado after I bought his coat, that coat of his. That coat was very expensive, like $50, I think. But it came with this sweater. And this was in Colorado. And here it was after they had just given me, the doctors had given me a letter of an official emotional support dog. They gave me, and I bought him this coat. But it was kind of hard to fit because it's so rigid. And here he was hiding underneath a truck I used to have. It's a Nissan Frontier. And no, that's the van, actually. That's underneath the van, the current van. Hi, Max. It's okay, Mr. Wow. You'll be home soon, Papas, okay? What else? Here he's back in the snow in a house I had in Colorado. Yeah. Hi, Max. Hello. Here I just shaved his head or cut his hair a little too much. Yeah, I cut his hair too much here. Hi, Max. Hello, Max. Hello, Papas. This was in San Diego. Yeah, we're just laying here. See what I mean that I used to dress nice? I like to dress nice. And this is just casual clothing for me. You know, to dress like this. We had matching scarves. Let's see what else. This is in San Diego. Boy, with my big gut right now, I couldn't even fit into that leather coat. Oh man, I used to love that coat. It was so soft. Hello, Max. Hello, hello. Hi, Max. Boy, I cut his hair a lot here, didn't I? A little too much. Hello. Hello, Max. Max. Hi, Mr. Wawaws. This dog has been everywhere with me, you guys. Everywhere. He's just cuddling up right now. Right there. Right out of the shower, too. Hello. Hello, Max. Hello, Max. Hello, hello, me little wowsies. Hi, Max. Hello. He looks funny right there with his eyes. I think this is in Los Angeles at a friend of mine, a lady friend of mine. Yeah, I think this is in Los Angeles. This is in Colorado, going on a bike ride. He's been on a lot of bike rides with me. This is in Rosarito. I had an apartment over there. In Rosarito, I had an apartment. This is in Washington. This is the coat I found for $50 fucking. Hi, Max. This is when I first got the van. That's what it looked like. But I took all of that up. And there he is, laying on the throne. Hello, Max. So that's it, guys. I thank you for watching.